Hello, good evening, folks. Just an update from earlier today. Got some good news and bad news. Bad news first. Bad news is that the federal court um, um, dismissed um, my case. However, they didn't shut the door on it. All they did was they dismissed it off of subject matter jurisdiction, which is an easy thing to fix. Um, so again, this is nothing but just a bump in the road. I already talked to several attorneys about this stuff, and they said that um, they're like, "Oh man, um, that's kind of weird." And then I told them the other stipulations to it. So they dismissed the case based off subject matter jurisdiction, um, but not on sovereign immunity, which means that those individuals can and will be sued in their individual capacities, because in their official capacity, they acted outside their scope of authority. So they exceeded their scope of authority too. But anyway, second part to that is that they denied their they denied the defendant's motion to strike, serve, reply in response to plaintiff's motion to strike, motion to sanction, a motion to assign independent fact finder. What's that mean in legal terms, or for layman's terms, is that everything that I asked for on those three sanctions, were a sanction, an individual fact finder, and my response to the motion, they were all what the defendant asked to keep them off the record and not of public interest or public view. So the judge denied that. He denied their motion for that. And that's a good thing, because what happens is that those two things, one was granted for him, which is just a small battle, and then the other one was denied for them. It was dismissed, denied and dismissed. So what that means is that the judge didn't slam the door on it. As a matter of fact, the folks that I talked with, the court clerk, the federal court clerk that was there, had told me, he's like, this is pretty good. He's like, depending on how you take it. And I took it as, yeah, it's a setback, but if I don't stand up and stand true, that I wouldn't be doing what I said I would be doing, and fighting for my kids and fighting for my rights, and fighting for my parental rights. So, they're probably sitting there drinking a beer, having a good old time, and not really reading what they're supposed to be doing. And, they think they won, but they haven't. So that's the good thing. What happened with this now is that the federal court clerk told me, he's like, this is pretty interesting. He's like, the judge left it open for you to make an amendment. If you talk to any attorney, lawyer, somebody that knows what they're talking about, and like I do, it's basically what they're telling me in a legal form, in a legal manner, is that there's what I've done was right and it's valid, but I have to come back and massage it and give my facts. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all those tribal court cases that pertain to me and my children, and I'm going to point it out. Okay, saying, for instance, like when they had court on the 25th of June 2019, and nobody showed, including the petitioner and then myself, that nobody showed, and we both lived in Spokane, Washington, that they still issued an order when nobody was there. That doesn't happen in any other court in the United States. Nothing. Just on the Yakima Nation Tribal Court. If two parties don't show up, then a case is dismissed. But the Yakima Nation Tribal Court chose not to do that. The judges in tribal court chose not to do that. They still issued an order which is against civil rights. And just to try to make it appear, because it's coming from a judge, is right, It's not right. It's not legal. It's illegal. So they're violating federal law amongst many other things, constitutional law, civil rights amendments. Um, so yeah, it was kind of it kind of pissed me off right away, but then I started thinking about it a little more, and then I started calling friends and asking them, and attorney friends, and they said, this is actually good news because allow you to come back, amend your complaint, and then more than likely what they're going to do is proceed, because I didn't give them all the facts, per se, because I thought, well, later on I'll bring the rest of them out with the oral arguments and the exhibits and things like that. But you know, you learn your lesson, right? Go through things and try to do it on your own, and that's what I did. I don't have 5 to 10 grand to be spending on an attorney. I do have other resources that I can go to, fall back on the VA for some certain things in order to get this, and Spokane Fatherhood Group. So I'll do that. I guess the next thing to say is that what this does for my case against 3 specific individuals, on top of the bar complaint I already filed, those same individuals, Ethan Jones, Marcus Shirzad, and Rona Washines, they can now be sued in state court. And somebody's saying, like, how can you do that? They work for the tribe. You're absolutely right. They work for the tribe. Sovereign immunity doesn't apply to them. One, they're not tribal members. And even if they're in, working for the tribe, the sovereign immunity doesn't apply to them. So that's something that they have on their plate that they're not gonna like. Again, they think I'm just some, dumb Indian that's just doesn't know stuff and doesn't know the law and doesn't know what I can do. But like I said, I'm gonna fight hard, tooth and nail, to my death for my children, regardless if it's against the tribe or anybody else. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to the death for my children. So, that's a good thing too. That's on top of doing this. So now that they've done that, and some of you may ask, well, how can you sue those people? Well, those 3 individuals, separate suits individually, which I can bring in state court, is because they exceeded their authority. And, I'm not going to tell you how they did it, but I will tell you that they exceeded their authority. So when they have that, then what that does is that it makes them culpable for things that have gone on in this decision and future decisions, and they'll be sued. And if you can imagine wiping out the whole Office of Legal Counsel, oh man, that's a lot happening there. So again, those 3 individuals have now opened themselves up for a suit in the state court. One of the things that one of the guys was asking me is that, well, maybe they want to push you in state court and pushing it down from the federal level to the state level. Well, I've already exhausted those means at state level. And how have I exhausted those means? Well, I filed court cases against my individual partner, or against her, and it's just this whole thing of like a dog chasing its tail. And I got off that train a long time ago. So I did it where I could exhaust all my means at tribal level, and I've exhausted all means at my state level. So now all I have to do is point that out to the federal level, and then they'll say, oh, okay, we made the wrong decision. We're going to come back and readdress this stuff. And now we're going to take charge of it since we've seen that you've done this and you've provided us the documents, which I have. So that means that they'll have to address it at the federal level. But again, beyond that, you go to the federal level. Then what happens after that is then you go to an appeal, and you appeal it for the region. And after that, you appeal it to the Supreme Court level. Will it get that far? I doubt it, because there's going to be a lot of things in play for that. However, it's not going to be in their best interest to go to fight that beyond this level that we're at right now. So it's a setback. It's not a loss. It basically what the judge is telling me is that I can't do it this way, but I'm going to deny their other stuff and grant them this. But they're asking me for an amendment, my first amendment, and that has to be in before May 12th. So when I do the May 12th thing, which I'll have before the federal court stuff, I'll let you know when I filed it on the later post. But I'm still going to keep posting about all this stuff, all my court cases, what the tribe's doing. I'm not going to sit there tuck tail and run. I'm not that kind of person. So whether Crystal thought that I was going to be this person, or the tribe thought I was going to be this person, or any of those individuals in there thought I was going to be this person, it's coming out. It's going to come out, and they have nowhere to run. They have nowhere to hide. It's going to come, and they're going to be against the wall, and then they won't have anything. They won't be able to fight. They won't be able to run. They're just going to take it. And like I said, I'll legally destroy them so that this never happens to me or my kids again, or to hopefully anybody else that tries to utilize this stuff for their court cases. So again, setback, not big. By all means, again, I keep saying this every posting, ask questions, do some of these things that start standing up for yourselves, start standing up for tribal members, do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. That's all I ask. Do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. Gosh, I don't know. I appreciate the views. I appreciate the followers. And hopefully one of you guys can sit there and say, yeah, hey, this is the right thing to do. So again, this is my second posting from today. Hopefully you got it. Excuse me. You'll get it and you'll see. But again, they're not out of the woods yet by no means. So, I'm going to grab them back and snatch them out of there, and they'll get lullabied and thinking that they're good to go when they're not, and it'll be taken care of. So again, stay with me, watch my stuff, do well for each other, do well for human to human, and love all you guys for watching my videos. Hopefully you got something encouraging to stay. Keep up the good work yourself if you're trying to do it, and hopefully this will inspire you to continue on with what you're doing in your battles. So again, I will let you guys know other things that are coming up pretty soon here. So they won't be able to run and hide. So thank you again for watching this. You guys have a wonderful evening. Good night. And if I don't post tomorrow, then you have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the next stream. Thank you. I love my kids, Strider, Sumerian, and Blade. And so thank you guys. Have a good one.